I'm so excited to chat with you today. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So where are you calling from?
Oh, okay. Great question. I am in Atlanta, Georgia right now. In
That's
this
fun.
nice, sweet little place, which I love, right?
Oh,
Like
so
it's just like,
cute.
it's so cute. And I have such a lovely time here. And I'm shooting Netflix First Kill. So that's my role right now. And I'm having a lovely time. I play a very glamorous and maybe not so nice vampire.
Well, actually, I was going to ask that later. I guess I'll start with that. So tell me about that. Tell me about that role, that project.
Oh, it's so much fun. So First Kill is based on a short story by V.E. Schwab, who did The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I don't know if you've read, but it's just spectacular. And this is based off of a short story, which I love. And it's a bit of a Romeo and Juliet, vampires and hunters, and there's other monsters as well. Bit of a matriarchy across the board. It's really fun. Felicia, our showrunner, is inventive and world building, and it's almost like we're speaking a different language sometimes, and I'm having an absolutely fantastic time. And I get to be glamorous, which, although it does take more time, does make my mom happy. So there's that.
I love it. So I can't wait. So let's talk about Outer Banks.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about Outer Banks. Yes.
I have already watched my screeners twice. I'm so excited for everyone to see this. You are incredible in Outer Banks.
Thank you. They're so good, aren't they? Are they not the most beautiful, talented kids you can possibly imagine? Like, I mean, the grown-ups are pretty good too, but like, they're so good, right?
So
and the
good.
work, they have such heavy lifting to do, and they do it completely natural. Like, I believe them, right? Their hearts are broken and they're going after what they want. And every single step of the way, I'm like, holy Toledo, like they don't know, people won't know how good they are because they're all so pretty, right? But the more you kind of watch them, you're like, wait a minute, like you're here, you've done this, you've made this work, this is all true. Like I just think they're extraordinary.
They're amazing. So what drew you to Outer Banks and the role of Carla Limbrey? How would you describe her?
Oh goodness. Well, I hadn't watched Outer Banks. I was mistakenly thinking that it was kind of a teen show, and it's not. Like the Outer Banks is so funny to me, and that most of the people I know who love it are my age. So I understand the kids love it too, but there's so much there, right? There's just so much complexity, and it's so great. Anyway, I hadn't watched it, and then I just binge watched it right as soon as I had the audition, and I just quite liked her. I was terrified of playing someone like that, right? Like I've met these women, and they've always just felt so distant from my reality. The way that they treat people, the way they walk through the world, the way they see themselves, that amount of entitlement is not something I really like to be around. It makes me feel uncomfortable, but that was the why of it. That's why I wanted to play her. I wanted to have a better understanding. I think through curiosity, we gain a little bit of wisdom, right? So my hope was that by playing someone like this, I might have a greater understanding instead of fear.
Yeah, no, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for the role? Do they tell you what kind of illness Carla's supposed to have? It seems like an MS sort of thing, or
it does. I mean, they don't want to say, they don't want to be specific.
Yeah.
So she is very sick, and she is dying, and she's also in a tremendous amount of pain, right? Like, so that shapes a person. The preparing for her, physically, I just lost weight, and I did it quickly, right? Like I ate basics, do you know what I mean? But nothing that would give me glowing skin, nothing that would flush your face out. Like women, we need a fair amount of weight on for our faces to look full and healthy and pretty, right? Like, and all those things that we go for. But for Carla, she's so ill, right? That I wanted everything to just be faded and not lush and not any of those things. So I wanted to just lose weight quickly in a way where you kind of are like, not that, oh my gosh, you lost weight, well done, which, I never particularly like, because I like women just the way they are.
Yeah.
Instead of, you want that, oh, you've lost weight, are you okay? That's what I wanted.
So, like a concern, you lost weight.
Yeah, I did. I probably did like 15 pounds,
Wow, my
which
God.
by the way, was not so hard to do, right? Like, I mean, you cut out all of your favorite things and then that's kind of it, right? But losing weight and not looking attractive is easier to do than losing weight and making it healthy and all of those things. So I did it because I just wanted her to not look vibrant. I didn't want her to look healthy. You know, I lift weights and I run like crazy and I'm always active. I work out a good hour every day. But for Limbrey, I just walked on the beach and ate a lot of vegetables.
Different kind of prep than other kind of, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It was fun though. And then as far as the mindset of her, I just tried to go there, right? I tried to think of what does she want? What is driving her? How many people does she have to make wrong to be right? And to me, that's how we get into these entitled characters that from the outside are the villain and of course act that way and through history have been. But what does it feel like to be inside them? And I think the key is to make everyone around you wrong and you are the only right one and you're the only one who understands. And I think that's the way to do it. And it's a tough shift, but it's interesting for sure.
Definitely. And, you know, Carla is determined to find the cross because she believes the shroud will heal her. Why do
Yes.
you think she believes that, even though it sounds too good to be true almost?
It does sound too good to be true. I mean, first of all, she's desperate, right? I think she's tried everything else. I mean, when you look around her house, you see that it's not just one thing that she's been obsessed with, right? She has all kinds of different mystic possible cures everywhere you look. And I like to think that, although not a particularly kind woman, I think that she is a bright woman, right? And I think that she has done her research and there's more than one account of people being healed from this, more than one, right? It's like example after example after example. And I think that that's the little kind of scientist in her is like, well, if I can the problem is the finding it, not that the miracle will occur, but that the finding it, you know. It's too bad that her faith doesn't lead her to more kindness, which you always hope that it does, but it doesn't.
So the season ends with a huge twist and cliffhanger. What was your reaction when you read that in the script?
I was so excited. I didn't know until because it wasn't written in the script actually. It was like a secret, right? So it was them calling to ask if, you know, I had my passport and I wanted to go to Barbados. And the answer was, yeah, I do. I'll do that. When should I do that? How do I get there? I'm happy to go there. Do I swim? I mean, I don't know, whatever you guys want. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm cool. But that was my reaction. I was super excited.
What would you like to see happen in season 3? Do you think Carla will find the shroud? If so, do you think it'll heal her? What would you like to see?
I mean, it's hard they do ground the show in reality, right? It would be fascinating to take that kind of a leap, but just the mere fact that she believes it will is fascinating to me. You know, me as a mom and as a woman in this world who's striving to hopefully have things be better than they are. I would love for her to have a crisis of conscience and discover that she has been an entitled, wealthy, rich lady and that she needs to stop. But that's not going to happen. So I think that what I enjoyed in season 2 were the interactions. I loved playing with the kids. When we are off camera or the camera is away, we are laughing so hard. They are respectfully irreverent, funny, just genuinely just so much fun. So anything I can do with them makes me happy. And you know, all of the other actors are so kind and so good. So I wouldn't mind some hefty interactions with pretty much any member of that cast in a way that feels kind of true to the character. I mean, she hasn't found what she's looking for. So the thing that's driving her has not been settled.
October marks 15 years since your debut on Lost as Juliet in season 3. While your character went on to become one of the most beloved on the show, like Outer Banks, were you initially nervous about joining an already established series? Can you recall your initial reaction to your character?
I can recall because, I mean, I should have been nervous. I had just had my son and I was feeding him and then kind of trying to and had just done Santa Claus 3. So I think I was too tired to be as nervous as I should have been. All I can remember is them saying they want you to come audition for Lost. And I was like, oh, please. Like, you know, because those kinds of big shows, they cast the net very wide. You know, it's not something you ever get. But of course, you're going to go because it's awesome material. And from the minute I read it, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. It was weird, but I was like, well, I'm just going to do it, right? Who cares? And then I think 3 days before my audition, I fell off a ladder. I was doing something and I broke my wrist and broke my toe. So when I went to the audition, I was wearing socks. I couldn't wear any shoes. Do you know what I mean? And then I was kind of just couldn't do my makeup because my hands were like, I mean, it was ridiculous. So I walked in there, you know, like just had a baby, absolutely exhausted, kind of not over it. I was very happy to be there, but not too tired to be nervous. And that was my experience. And thank God for that, because I think they kind of liked that grumpy professor thing, you know, that thing of just simply being there, but nonplussed, not being so overwhelmed by the situation. And then I got there and it was, you know, it's like coming to life. You land in Hawaii, new baby, there's a pool in your backyard. Everybody is so kind and so ridiculously beautiful, you know, and Josh is like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh God, you know, because you're so tired and all you see is this beautiful face and body come in and out of focus. And you're like, all right, you're hot. And then you meet everybody else and they're equally as beautiful and so kind. And it was like coming out of a dream into a dream for the most part.